Hi, my name is Sunna Wehrmeijer, and I'm answering some questions that came in about the music I wrote for She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. If you're watching this, I assume you know this is a series on Netflix. Otherwise, you probably clicked on the wrong thing. Let's dive right in. So yeah, the She-Ra sound, clearly it is a blend of synth and orchestra, and that's what was communicated to me in the beginning. They wanted it to be a contemporary 80s score combined with orchestra. That's what it is. It's at the beginning I obviously got my palette together, was trying to look for cool sounds, came up with, was trying to make some sounds. I found about 300,000 synth bells that I used most of them in the score. It's just one of those things that, trial and error, and it just sort of happened very organically. Yes, of course there's music that didn't make it into the show. That's a very normal thing when you're a film and TV composer. Things get rejected and you have to redo stuff. It's all very normal. Thank God generally there weren't that many rewrites with She-Ra, which was, pleasant. There was one scene that comes to mind, which is the very, very last scene of the series, Heart Part 2, which when I spent a lot of time on it, and I was one of those things where I'm like, oh, look at this is amazing, and then I get feedback like, no, you're gonna have to redo the whole thing. So first it's like panic, like what do you mean? But she was right. I did have to redo it, and what it ended up being was so much better than what I initially came up with. And that's actually a really nice part of being a film composer, is that collaboration and that input and that back and forth where, often my first instincts are right, but sometimes they are not. And that's, I learned from that, and it's actually very interesting. Yeah, it was loads of fun using the original She-Ra music. I have to confess that when I started the show, I had never seen or heard the original She-Ra. I really don't know why. It either never made it to the Netherlands or I was busy watching Smurfs in the 80s. I really don't know. But I didn't know it, so I had to obviously listen to it, and I really liked it actually. I think it's very catchy stuff. Funny enough, we were going to use the original end credits for our end credits. And I thought that was like a done deal, but then the day before I was delivering the music, I heard that, or I found out that it wasn't actually licensed, so I had to recreate the end credits with very little time. And so it's actually me and my assistant singing, the She-Ra bit, which was totally out of necessity, but also I really like how it turned out. I really enjoyed doing that. So there you go. Sometimes things happen for weird reasons. The funny thing about the whole promise thing is that I had no idea that was going to be such a big deal for the rest of all the episodes. I never saw, more further than the episodes I was working on, so I didn't know what was going to happen at the end of the story. Nobody told me. So this whole Catch for Adora thing, I was, living it real time. This piece of music, that one that we hear so many times later on, was just written for that piece, but it just worked so well, and really, I really felt like that entailed their complicated relationship, and also how it evolved. And I think the theme, that little bit evolves, and you can hear so many different iterations. And there's something about it that just, it's just a very, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I remember writing it, and what I remember is that I don't remember it, which is usually what happens when I'm really in the zone, and time and space just stop existing. So yeah. Right, I use the following software. I write in Cubase. I have Ableton running in Rewire into Cubase, something I picked up at James Newton Howard's when I worked there 100 years ago. I got my video and dialogue and effects running in Pro Tools, and most of my samples live in VE Pro, and that's it. It's so hard to pick a favorite theme, but one that I really like is the what I call the Princess Alliance theme. You can hear that anytime they're, talking about joining the rebellion or fighting with the Alliance or anything Princess Alliance related. I just always really like that theme. Another theme I really like is a weird one. It's from Princess Prom, when Bo and Glimmer are, having their little moment on the dance floor. That one, I don't know, it's just another one. I don't know why I like it. I just really do. And I always try to find another moment to use that theme. And there was never a moment I could use it until the final episode. And I saw on Twitter someone picked up on the fact that when Bo is playing his lute, it's the same theme. Yes, thank you for noticing that. That's one of those things that composers hope there's someone in the world who picks up on these things. Yeah, that is the same theme, and I had to wait 44 episodes to use it again, but I really like it. When it comes to instrumentation, I just really follow my, gut feeling. I just felt that Ketra had to be electric guitar, and I felt that Shadow Weaver had to be this, these dark bells, and Hordak had to be, low choir, low brass, and Raz had to be, this ethnic flute. Obviously Seahawk had to be accordion, but that sort of makes sense. It just arrives into my brain, like this is what it should be, and if it's not, then someone will tell me, and then I'll change it and find something that works better. But I am very much, I follow my gut when it comes to these things. Nope. Of course, the Horde Prime stuff had to be really scary. It had to be one up from the whole Hordak thing. It had to be even more unsettling. And someone suggested organ. I cannot remember if it was me or Noelle, but someone did. And I had this idea to take an organ and sort of mess around with it. And doing this swelling thing, which a real pipe organ, of course, cannot do. So it's a very unsettling sound, and I think that in combination with the Gregorian chanting is just unusual and weird and just puts you in a very unpleasant place, which suits the guy really well. Writing music for the final season was just insane for many reasons. It was very music heavy, but also I had a baby. My third and final baby during the final season of She-Ra. So, I mean, it was just all madness. Baby on the lap with milk spraying everywhere. And coming up with like the most intense emotional music that I ever had to write in my life. I mean, maybe it's better because I was already in a, heightened emotional state. I don't know, but it was easy to tap into the emotional part of it. I don't know if it's related. I guess it doesn't matter. But I enjoyed it so much. I think that final season is so amazing, and it was sad because I knew it was going to end and I was going to have to say goodbye to these characters, which sounds crazy because they're drawn, they're not real, but somehow you just feel like you know them. And oh man, it was just such a great gig, and it's that final season was just pure joy.